Hi all, this is Srikanth. In this video, we will understand what is risk-based authentication and how it uses risk scores to protect your accounts. So, risk-based authentication is a smart security system that adjusts the level of authentication required based on how risky a login attempt seems to be. So, instead of always asking for same level of verification, risk-based authentication evaluates the context of login and decides whether to step up the security or keep it simple. So, for example, a user logs in from their home computer, which is recognized device. During their usual login time, the system detects this as a low risk and grants access with just a password. But if the same user tries to log in from a new device from a new country, the system detects risks and prompt for an OTP sent to the registered phone number. In this example, login attempt was made from Russia, which is an unusual login. So how does Risk Engine detects this kind of a login pattern? Let's see this with one more example. This is one more example where a hacker tries to log in multiple times using stolen credentials. The system detects high risks and notifies the user of the suspicious activity. So by leveraging machine learning and behavioral analytics, risk-based authentication provides a balance between security and usability, making it a powerful tool in the modern authentication systems. So here how it works in three simple steps. First, it does the risk assessment, and then the risk scoring and the adaptive authentication. So when you try to log in, the system looks at factors like your location, your device, your IP address, and even your usual login patterns. For example, if you're logging in from a new device or a different country, so this is basically the risk assessment. So based on these factors, the system assigns a risk score to your login attempt. A low score means everything looks normal, while a high score indicates something suspicious might be going on. So depending on the risk score, the system decides what to do next. If risk is low, you might just need to enter your username and password. If the risk is medium, you might get a one-time password sent to your phone. And if the risk is high, you could be asked for the biometric verification like a fingerprint or facial recognition. We'll see how risk scoring works. The system assigns a risk score, to the login attempt based on the factors below. So for example, for a low risk score, the login attempt matches the user's typical behavior and the context. In this case, the access is granted with a minimal friction just by using the username and password. It checks for the IP address. Is the IP address associated with any known malicious activity? It also checks for the time of access. Is the login attempt happening at an unusual time for the user? It then checks for the login patterns. There are multiple failed login attempts or unusual login patterns. It also checks for the device information. So is a device recognized? Is a device previously used, or it is a new one, or is it a trusted device? So all these parameters will be checked before considering the risk score. So for a medium risk, the login attempt has some anomalies. So for example, if the request is coming from a new device or a new location, so additional verification may be required, such as one-time password or security question for the authentication to complete. Again, the IP address, the time of access, login patterns, device information is checked. So this triggers step-up authentication, such as sending an OTP via SMS or email, or asking for biometric verifications. So coming to high risk score, the login attempt is highly suspicious. So for example, the request is actually coming from a blacklisted IP address or an unusual country. In this case, the access may be blocked, or the user may be required to complete multi-factor authentication or contact the support. So in the case of an high risk scores, the access may be blocked or notify the user or require manual intervention. So again, the IP address, the time of access, login patterns, and the device information is checked. So the benefits of risk authentications are it provides enhanced security. It reduces the risk of unauthorized access by dynamically adjusting the authentication requirements. It also provides user convenience. It minimizes the friction for low risk logins and improves the user experience. It prevents the fraud. It detects and blocks the suspicious login attempts in real time, and it is compliant. It actually helps the organization meet regulatory requirements for data protection and authentication. So these are the benefits of using risk-based authentication. So in a nutshell, risk-based authentication is a game changer for online security. It balances user convenience with a strong protection. Thank you.